isn't this just fantastic? Captain's log, subdate 200910.7. The PVA glue that was used to replace Ensign Bork's bone marrow has set, and he appears to be improving. The only downside is that he's got to wear an oxygen tank and avoid warmer environments. He's now starting to resemble a plague marine. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. If my voice sounds a little different, it's ever so slightly sore. I'm not sick though, it's just sore. Before we start, I'm going to shill things. Twitch, streaming there tonight, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and my sister has finished making another batch of bears on Etsy. If you're at all interested in helping my sister obtain a new kitchen, the Etsy link is in the description down below. So to start, we're going to go to Devon. I've actually ordered these wrong, so I've reordered it. We're going to start with the mildest and go to the stupidest. Well, in my head, I could be wrong. The reason we're going to Devon is because some inconsiderate little Burke decided in their infinite wisdom to go and park their £120,000 Aston Martin V8 Vantage in a spot reserved for fishermen, and it is widely known they're reserved for that. The funny thing here is, they got 2 tickets at the very least before the fishermen decided, fam, we're just dealing with these people. So what did they do, you ask? They took some chum, or, rotten fish, haddock in this case, put a pallet down, and blocked the Aston Martin in with the barrel of rotten fish, along with dumping one on the windscreen, just for good measure. It should now be noticed somehow that Aston Martin managed to get out of that spot. I'm guessing the owner managed to find a way to push the pallet. Maybe don't park where you're not meant to be. Next we go to the actress, formerly from the Desperate Housewives TV show, Eva Longoria, who has decided now in the current climate to speak about women's empowerment. No issue there at all. But to use it and say that women are being hit harder by the global pandemic because women take the brunt of household responsibilities. That's quite the assertion, since many were stuck at home, or in this case, many women lost their jobs because they weren't considered to be essential workers, meaning many occupations that are part-time that were ordinarily inhabited by predominantly females were redundant. So they went home to do what they would normally do because a lot of the men made up for essential workers. That's not to say there weren't any women that were essential workers, by the way, just a percentage shift only. So yes, the women did go home to do other things, to not only stay busy but keep things moving. That is not an indicator that women be oppressed and therefore women need empowerment. No, it just means you had to do something a little different for a while until you were able to go back to work. But I do like the fact that there are still people using the, I'll quote her on this, global pandemic, and air quotes I guess, to do essentially a pissing contest to see who has it worse. That's nice. That's classy. That's exactly what I expect from morons like you. Next we go to my friend Carilius Valentinius, who I have some advice for. Please, I beg that you listen to this one. Twitter is an incredibly useful platform. Even I've had it for 5 years. It has served me well in promoting my content. The one thing everyone can say that I never do is engage in fights. It is not good for your mental health. It is not good for you to be able to promote your channel. Please stop fighting. I'm getting a bit tired of following all the new accounts. For the sake of it, that's not the part that I want to draw attention to. That's more a PSA for my friend, which I guess means I can do a PSA for everyone. Stop engaging in fights on Twitter. It's really not good for your mental health. This one was brought to you by Tenga Eggs. The thing that caught my attention that concerns my friend Kay is what someone said to him in the comment sections to one of his videos. This is what they said. Your fault for not cancelling toxic commenters. Log off, dude. When it comes to free speech, Kay and I are very much in unison on this. You can say anything you like in the comments, I don't care. It's more than likely if you're abusive enough to me, I'll probably pin it anyway because it amused me and then love it for extra attention. There is no justification in the context of this, with this tweet accompanying it. There is no justification, there is never any justification for someone to illegally obtain private information, report someone to their job and cost them that job. As a final little bit before we continue with the next subject, please consider subscribing to Carilius Valentinius. His channel link will be a pinned comment down below. To move on from that, I'd like to talk about Emily Bendel. Emily Bendel is a lingerie tycoon. She's certainly made her money and is very successful because of it. She is seeking to take legal action against the Garrick Club in London. The Garrick Club was founded in 1831. It has a 1,400 member list. It's also all men. Women are allowed on the premises but aren't allowed to be members. And she sees this as women being treated as second-class citizens on the whim of a man. And that because of this, it violates the Equality Act of 2010. With the Garrick Club, 2/3 of its members have to vote in favour of a motion for it to be passed. They did actually vote 50% last time they did this to allow women in. But that doesn't mean women can become members because not enough voted in favour. Someone might now pounce on this and say, a woman trying to hustle in on men's spaces. There is an argument for that. But I want to poke a little hole at something else. She's seeking to take legal action to be legally allowed to join a club. Because it's exclusive, yo, and I want to be there. I want it because I can't have it. Oh, and let's not forget the obvious. You're going to be so welcomed by everyone else when you walk in there as a member, having used a court to get it done. That just reeks of genius. Next we go to Larissa Kennedy. She is a union leader at a university and has called for university students to stay at home this autumn unless you are poor, black, disabled, gay or transgender. She is the president of the National Union of Students and has warned it's too dangerous for undergraduates to flood campuses, but that exceptions should be made for those from certain backgrounds. Does anyone else want to jump on this and say the obvious? Because I could poke a hole at it and say, white people stay at home so black and minority ethnic people, along with those of certain sexualities, can learn in peace from the pesky whiteness. In keeping with the theme of education, we're going to go with Jessica Krug, or Krug. I don't care enough about the pronunciation. She did something really bad, and it's worth talking about. Jessica is an African-American history associate professor at George Washington University, and has recently written a blog post. This blog post has understandably drawn many comparisons to that of Rachel Dolezal and Sean King, and Irate Alex, where Jessica has revealed in a Medium blog post that she's lied about being black her entire career, and that she is in fact white and Jewish and was raised in Kansas City. The city part means nothing to me because I'm sure they have people who are black there. But she has done this for her whole career. She has lied and deceived colleagues. She has taken grants from black and minority ethnic charities and scholarships. The blog post she wrote is called The Truth and the Anti-Black Violence of My Lies. For the better part of my adult life, every move I've made, every relationship I've formed has been rooted in the napalm toxic soil of lies. To an escalating degree of my adult life, I've eschewed my lived experience as a white Jewish child in suburban Kansas City, under various assumed identities within a blackness that I had no right to claim. Earlier this year, under a pseudonym called Jessica La Bombalera, she posted a video denouncing white New Yorkers who did not yield their time for black and brown indigenous New Yorkers. She also, to avoid getting caught out, didn't attend her mother's funeral so that she could continue living her lie. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now she's willing to admit she is a culture leech and a coward. I'm so happy to hear that. But understandably, people have gotten a bit annoyed about this. Acknowledging what you did is wrong after doing this for over 20 years is really bad, but I would say, much like Dolezal, I don't know how you managed to convince anyone. I'm really confused. Do let me know in the comments down below if you see what she says she sees that makes her, along with many other people, believe that she was a black lady for 20-odd years, because I really don't see it. The final story and the main event, I'm going to work on some transition cards for this to frame the videos better, comes from Disney and Mulan, where the actress for the movie Mulan, the lead, has decided to take the side of the Hong Kong police in quelling the protesters who are standing up for their democracy after China has essentially said, nah fam, nah, This, oddly enough, has brought about a bit of fallout. There were some hashtags that were trending. More notable was Boycott Mulan. Understandable because not only that, with her supporting the Hong Kong police in subduing and silencing the natives, but also a region of China where they filmed the movie, because it is alleged that over 1 million Muslims live in the Xinjiang province, where these particular Muslims are suffering many human rights abuses, which is fascinating really because Disney, also in their infinite wisdom, have supported this by thanking the Chinese Secret Service in the end credits to the Mulan movie. Oh boy. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh, and I stand with Hong Kong, not with China. As with everything we cover here, I'd love to know what you think the stupidest thing was. So please do let me know in the comments down below. If I don't see you on Twitch tonight, have a great Thursday, and thank you all for listening.